Imagine a game where one oh sorry. Imagine a game where one bad call from a referee changed everything. It can be frustrating since there's not much you can really do about it. But what if that call wasn't made by a human, but instead by an AI algorithm that analyzes every detail of the play and makes faster and more consistent decisions? AI has already been implemented into many aspects of sports, including supporting referee calls, creating training plans, and much, much more. In fact, some sports have systems like VAR in soccer that can track players more than 25 times a second. Now, the question isn't whether AI will actually improve pro sports anymore, but it's how to take it to the next level and make it even better. Hello, my name is Muad, and today I'm going to be talking about the impact of artificial intelligence on professional sports. For years, we have accepted that operating errors are part of the entertainment that we all enjoy, and it's understandable. Imagine if you were a referee who had to make a split-second decision that changed the entire course of a game. Make one mistake, and you could face a lot of backlash for what you did. And you can't fully blame them either, as, after all, they're just human, and they only see one angle of the play. These referees can fall into immense pressure because of all the backlash they receive from the crowd. However, this time has come to an end with the introduction of technologies. Using AI, the amount of these kinds of errors will lower significantly. AI can uh, analyze plays in seconds, reducing errors and creating faster decisions. In sports like tennis and badminton, for example, automated line systems are used to quickly analyze where the ball or birdie lands, and what would have been almost impossible to see with the human eye is easily called. Without AI, decisions for a complicated play that would have normally taken over 3 minutes can now be completed in less than 30 seconds. You see, AI doesn't feel pressure, it doesn't get tired, and it does not get affected by the public. Additionally, AI doesn't have any real feelings, meaning that it can't bias any one team. It's based purely on data, which means that it doesn't care which team is playing at home or which player is more popular. And when fans know that a game isn't based on personal preference, but data, it increases their trust in the integrity of the sport. However, this isn't flawless, as the AI might take information from a faulty or biased source, meaning that there is still some component of human judgment needed. And this is the most important aspect of AI, which is that it won't replace humans per se, but instead it will massively assist us in creating fairness for everyone. AI can also support the average viewer, as oftentimes games can be pretty boring. The Wall Street Journal says that in the average American football game, the ball is actually only in play for around 11 to 18 minutes, despite broadcasts being more than 3 hours at times. This is an amazing opportunity for AI to help entertain fans when they aren't on the edge of their seats. By making the average watching experience much more interactive by using quizzes and games for fans to test their knowledge, more people are inclined to watch. In the past, I remember watching a basketball championship final match between two fierce rivals. It was neck and neck until the final moments of the game, when a player was driving towards the net and faced contact in the air. The crowd bursted with hundreds of voices, complaining that there was no foul. For the referee, all he felt was this stress-inducing crowd screaming at him to make a decision. And then he proceeds to take over 5 minutes looking at the footage to decide whether there's a foul or not, all while this restless crowd noisily waits. Now, using AI, now using AI, the court is equipped with high-speed cameras that track all the players' movements. When the play takes place, these high-speed cameras get to work and track the momentum and the movement of the players to see whether there's a foul or not. Once they've created their decision, within seconds, they send a message to the referee indicating that there was a foul due to an illegal pushing motion from behind. Instead of the 5 awkward minutes where nobody in the crowd knows what's going on, the decision is instant and accurate. Ultimately, it's up to the public to truly decide whether a game is fair or not, as even if everything is as accurate as possible, you can't stop everyone from complaining. And this raises another problem, in that many people believe that AI isn't actually improving pro sports, but instead it's making the game too technical. I will be going further into this later, but now let's talk about another area where AI helps. Now, refereeing isn't the only aspect of pro sports that's being impacted by AI. It's the players as well. Using AI, the quality of training, recovery, and meal planning is massively enhanced. And these innovations are what truly takes pro sports to the next level. When players are getting the proper training they need to perform at the highest level, it makes a huge difference on the viewership and hence the monetization of the sport. To show this, let's take the example of Ashton. Now, Ashton is a 17-year-old pro soccer goalkeeper who's on his way to the highest level of the sport. Life seems pretty good. He's been more comfortable on the ball, he's much stronger since last year, and his coach has been praising him for his hard work and effort. However, he's been feeling some discomfort in his right leg for the past couple weeks, but he doesn't think much of it. Now, one practice, as he's doing all of his drills as he normally would, he falls on his leg wrong. Tears fall from his eyes as he knows it's a bad one. When he goes to the doctors, they inform him and his coaches that this injury was caused by an increase in training intensity, and that it wasn't a random occurrence as it was built from all the workload from the past year. The impacts of this injury are immense, as he won't be able to come back to the pitch for another 6 months. Now imagine the same scenario, but with the implementation of AI. Now, he's able to be tracked by his coaches using sensors on his body that track his movement. These sensors also track his muscle strain, which inform his coaches that he's been overworked. Now, his coaches are able to rest him, and with just a little bit of rehab, he's deflected a life-changing injury. You see, the problem before wasn't the player itself, but instead it was the resources he had to work with. Another area where AI helps in terms of the players is meal planning and recovery, as these are areas where good data is most important. AI can help generate meal plans for a person's favorite foods or ingredients, or create exercise plans according to someone's strengths and weaknesses. To show this, let's take the example of two baseball players, Bob and Evan. Now, Bob can't eat any food with gluten in it, and Evan has recently come back from a hamstring injury. And Bob wants to find a way where he can get his macros in, considering his dietary restrictions. And Evan wants to find a way where he can recover quicker without accidentally making his condition worse. By feeding this information into an AI agent, it can come up with dozens of different solutions for both of their problems. For Bob, that could be a list of tasty gluten-free recipes that he can easily make at home. And for Evan, that could be a weights routine consisting of light cardio and moderate weights to keep him ready for a real game scenario. Using AI, both of them were able to solve problems that would have taken days to solve on their own. Now, here's the real question. Where does a line have to be drawn for when AI is doing too much? Is it when every little point has to be carefully examined, making a game way longer than it should be? Or is it when the coaches, referees, and even players themselves are going to be replaced by robots to make games as entertaining as possible? One of the main reasons why I and many people watch pro sports is because it's such a real form of entertainment. It doesn't have that layer of fabrication that movies and TV shows do. If we let AI do too much, it starts to feel too perfect rather than proper competition where skill and quick thinking are rewarded. In pro soccer, for example, I've personally watched games that have been decided by calls that take over 10 minutes to decide, which come off as way too nitpicky. Many people believe that the better option is just to scrap AI completely, to get rid of all the pauses from games. And this is why it's important that AI is only supporting pro sports rather than replacing, as doing so removes the whole reason why we watch sports in the first place. In the end, the addition of AI to pro sports will definitely be considered by major teams in the coming years. It can help make games more fair, support upcoming players, but it also needs some parameters, like when it's doing too much. It can also help the average viewer who might get bored during a long game or feel like their favorite player is getting treated unfairly. When implemented properly, I truly believe that it can improve pro sports by creating fairness, performance, and decision making for everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening to my presentation.